pregnant mother and pastor was brutally attacked at a Circle K gas station in Ohio and, days later, tragically suffered a miscarriage, resulting in the loss of her unborn child. Dr. Keith has the exclusive story, speaking with the couple about that devastating day.
Okay. So then, now I know I had caught parts of something was thrown.
Yeah, she was a train star at her. She wouldn't back up out of my face.
So
She's coming at me on the counter. What was I supposed to do? As she's yelling at me.
So you guys were having the verbal altercation at the time.
And she continued to walk towards the counter towards me, so I threw the chain jar at her. And then I went around the counter because she said, you ain't going to do blah, blah, blah. You going to jail. So fine.
Okay.
I'm sick of people thinking they can talk to people anytime.
You were on a trip and something happened. Give me what happened.
So we were traveling from South Carolina to Detroit, Michigan for a church conference, a church event. Mm-hmm. And, we were on a road for about 8 hours, traveling from South Carolina to Michigan is about a 12-hour drive.
Right.
And we had our sons with us, 13-year-old and 8-year-old, King and Michael. Mm-hmm. And, and kids, just in the car and stuff like that. But we were stopping for gas. So we were in Bowling Green. We actually saw that it was a Circle K. So we was like, okay, we can get the points. In particular, that day, it was 40 cents off each gallon. Okay. We need that. We need that. So we stopped there, not knowing what was awaiting for us, not knowing that harm could be done just in a split moment like that. And my boys and I, we got out because they needed to use it, myself, and get snacks and things like that. And I was paying for the gas. And my husband said, I'm going to stay out. And, once the gas is paid for, I'll pump. And I said, okay. So we went in. Being exhausted really from the road and being, pregnant at that time, I forgot to put my number in to get the points. And I did ask the clerk, I said, excuse me, I said, is it too late for me to put my rewards number in? And she, replied with yes. And I was like, well, could we cancel out the transaction? And it was like, as soon as I said, cancel out the transaction, everything just turned left. She said, well, it's going to take 5 to 7 business days for your money to return. I wasn't concerned about that. I wasn't worried about that part. I was just saying, cancel it out. We can reswipe my card. And it went from that to her just being, she already had a nastiness to her. And I'm
right there. So we're talking about you, an African-American woman.
Yes.
This woman being what?
Oh, she was Caucasian. I'm sorry. Yep, Caucasian, young female.
So you're in Ohio,
Bowling Green,
in a major gas station,
right. Mm-hmm.
And you're doing what everybody does because we know we want to get that extra money off.
Yeah.
So you ask a question, and in return, she has an attitude.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Go ahead.
So it went from that to, her saying, being nasty and saying the fact that why she couldn't cancel it. And I just didn't understand it. And she told me that I would be trying to hold her accountable if the money didn't come back. And it just didn't. I said, I'm giving you the authorization to cancel it. And, I stood by the side because it was like a man and a lady that were in there as well. And they were Caucasian. And I'm sitting there watching how she's interacting with them. And she was being really kind to them. And I'm like, well, why she being that? I'm saying to myself, why she being nasty with me? And so I asked her again. And then she was just, on her crash out moment. And then I asked her, I said, why are you being nasty with me? And it kind of, frustrated me because I'm like, I'm standing here patiently and I'm asking you to do something so me and my family can get our gas.
Okay, stop right there. Mm-hmm. So you're in the store and there are other Caucasian people there with you. And
Yeah, we were the only African Americans in the store, me and my children.
So what are the other, or could you see the response to the other Caucasian people in the store?
It was like when they heard her talking to me reckless and being nasty, and I was asking why was she being nasty, it was like they didn't have anything to say about what she was saying. It was more like a eyeballs directly on me moment. And it felt awkward. Like, I'm gonna be honest, it really felt awkward because I was like, wait a minute, she's being nice to them but not kind to me, and I didn't do anything wrong to her, and it went from that to, me asking her why over and over why she being nasty, and I guess it frustrated her. On top of that, she said racial slurs to her friend, and that's really what made me say, right, why are you being nasty to me?
Okay. She said racial slurs to somebody else that was behind the counter with her.
Yes.
And send it to her, but really send it to you.
Right. Concerning me.
Okay. What did the person that was there say?
Nothing.
No response.
No.
Nobody's saying, girl, that it ain't necessary for that. Nothing.
Nope.
Okay.
At least not according to the video footage.
Okay, right. We'll see that on. There's a video that you're gonna see shortly.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're on one side of the counter, and when I saw this video, the girl comes around the counter.
Yeah, so after all of that stuff happened, she threw a change jar at me, and then
what?
Like the tip jar. They had like a tip jar
that's what that was?
Yeah, the white top that she grabbed with the tip jar was a tip jar. She threw that directly at me, and she threw other items at me from behind the counter.
Across the counter.
Yes.
You're an African American woman who is standing there, getting stuff thrown at you. What did the other people say at that time? They just still looked.
They stood there and watched. Like,
nobody said stop. Nobody said nothing.
No, nobody didn't say anything until I had to fight back. So as she did that, I was like, you know what? It's time to go. So as I was leaving, I told my boys, I said, okay, let's go. Like, you can hear me in the video telling my children, let's go. And you can see my son getting ready to walk behind me, but she come charging. And that's what made me turn around, because I didn't feel my boys, near me. So when I, in the midst of turning around, I'm turning around into a hit and grabbing my hair.
So, when I saw this video, I was like, is this real?
Yeah, it didn't feel real.
We're talking about 2025.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
In an Ohio city where it's got, predominantly Caucasian, but nice amount of African Americans, that somebody has the audacity to come around the corner and begin to fight you, and I can look at you and see that you're pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then at that point, you're defending yourself.
Yeah. I did everything in my power to, get this girl off of me. And when that part happened, when they saw that I did everything in my power to get her off of me and me defending myself, then everybody want to say, hey, stop fighting and this and that and that. And that's when let go of my coworker. And, that's when it was a man there saying something, and it was just horrible, because the fact of the matter is that, in the midst of me tussling with this girl, I'm being called an animal, I'm being called ghetto, and I'm like,
this is the lady that you tussling with calling you all these things.
Yes, like, it's in the video. Like, if you just listen closely, like, you will be able to hear this girl calling me an animal and ghetto and telling me to get the F out. Like, it was just
wow. So Dr. Stukes.
Yes, sir.
You're outside. What do you see this going on?
No, sir. So my wife tells my 13-year-old son, go outside and get your father. And he comes outside and says, Dad, some woman just ran up on Mom. I'm like, boy, you lying. So we go inside to see what's happening. Right now, let me start by saying this first. We have an understanding, my wife and I. when you're raising children and being from the South, as a Black family, as a Black man, there are things that you have to make sure you put in place to make sure, number one, all of my children, when I taught them how to drive, at least the ones that can drive, right? The older ones, we had to teach them not just the rules of the road, but also how to interact with police. That being said, growing up in rural South Carolina, you have to conduct yourself in other ways, right? Not to mention, I'm also an anti-terrorism officer, right? So when you speak in regards to like school shootings, that kind of thing, right? As an anti-terrorism officer level 2, I train law enforcement on the do's and the don'ts. So there are very rarely any situations that my family and I haven't talked through. Okay. Listen, the best thing to do, walk away, X, Y, and Z. My wife, I am so proud of her. Like, had she been me at that time, I probably would have grabbed the woman by her hair and slammed her into the register.
Whatever. Right.
But she didn't do that. You know, she was very reserved, and so I'm proud of her for that. So anyway, as I stated, we've got rules. Number one, if I'm ever in an altercation with a man, don't jump in the middle.
No.
Right?
No.
I don't need to be worried about you
Right.
and the children.
Right.
Let me handle that. Same thing when it comes to women. Why? Because at any point in time, it's going to be assault on me. Now, this 4-day weekend, we're in jail until Tuesday after Memorial holiday.
Right.
Not to mention in the South, that's now called lynching.
Mm-hmm.
Where will our children be?
Right.
They're not going to be in the system. So as a Black couple, we've got to sit and look things all the way through. What can we best do to make sure that we're putting ourselves in the best position possible? Now, when that woman attacked my wife and she told my son to come get me, my wife had every right to defend herself, right? And so, of course, the first thing I did is I come in, I stand over, making sure that no one is going to be attacking my wife or jumping in to assist the other young lady, right? That was the intent, right? After that, my wife said, hey, listen, grab my wig. So you see me go and pick up a wig, dust it off. Yeah. And so, of course, after that, you know, the situation is over. However, there are people in the back, like a half circle of onlookers. Mm-hmm. And so there's a portion of the video where you see me go toe to toe with the Caucasian male because he's still talking trash. And I'm like, okay, you can barely hear the conversation, but right. You see him then walk away, right? And then, of course, the next statements are, we're calling the police. Yes, please call the police.
Right.
Because I want this woman in jail.
Right
now. That's typically a deterrent, right? They say stuff like that to make you run. You only run if you're guilty. We're not going anywhere. Right. We know the law. We're going to stay right here. We're going to get our just due. You're going to jail. We're not running from this. And so, of course, all the onlookers, all the people that have so much to say with the racist behavior, because here we go. We don't have an issue with white people
at all.
We have an issue with racism. Racism is the common denominator and it needs to be stopped.
That's correct.
I don't know what that looks like, but you know, we're coming up on, you know, Martin Luther King holiday, and it looks like with all this time having gone by, have we not gotten any better? And it almost looks as if we're going backwards fast. I have issues with that.
And so what made me, instruct my 13-year-old to go get my husband, because, you know, it was other Caucasian individuals that was in the store, and they just looked like they were going to
participate,
grab me, you know what I'm saying? Because I had to defend myself. And I was already, you know, feeling, you know, frightened from the fact of being caught off guard, you know, being snatched and hit off guard. So it was like, wait a minute, you know, and it was just, the moment was really terrifying because even after, you know, the fight, like the EMS had to be called. I could barely breathe. I was hurting like in my body and stuff. I had bruises everywhere. Like the pictures and everything that they have, like the courts and everything, like you see the bruising. I mean, and they immediately showed up, and then days later, like they were getting darker and darker, but then after that whole event, I wasn't feeling well, like a couple of days after that fight. And I told my husband, I said, my stomach is really, really cramping really bad. I said, but I'm not bleeding, so everything should be fine. And literally like 7 something that morning, I woke up in a pool of blood, like our bed, where we were staying at. And he immediately grabbed me up, like didn't even waste any time. Got me to the hospital, and it was from there. The doctor told me, she was like, it's nothing that we can do to stop it. She said, your body is going to, flush it out. It is a miscarriage. You are miscarriaging. And then she was like, it's nothing that we can do to stop it. She was like, you're going to see, you're going to pass tissues, blood clots and everything. She said, don't be alarmed. She said, but if you begin to bleed where it's uncontrollably, please go back to the hospital. And, not even a week later after, I was told that, like, from the doctor, it happened, the tissues passed through. I did take a picture of it because it was so like, wow, like, and,
so let's go back. Let me just ask a stage of questions. So I want the viewers to understand.
Right.
It's going to sound like I'm repeating myself, but I want you, just in case you just tuned into the show, So you're in Ohio on a family trip,
Right.
Yeah.
going for a service in Detroit, Michigan, 8-hour drive. You're getting gas. You're getting what's due to you because the company that you got gas at, as members, allow you to have discounts on gas.
Yes.
Right.
And even though it's already keyed in, you still can ask, oh, I forgot your number. Can you check? And that can happen. That's an easy process. No, you didn't care about the money being, because it comes out. You didn't care about none of that. She gets nasty. She comes around the counter, begins to really hurt you. What does the police say? Is my question.
Oh man.
Because the police were African American or Caucasian.
They were all out. I'm sorry, correction. They were all Caucasian.
Okay,
and so
right there. Okay, we got that answer. Okay. So was there a ticket given? Was she arrested? What's the liability of this company that we're talking about, of an employee? Because now, do we consider this, even though it's a miscarriage, the miscarriage was caused because of the assault. So it's so many ramifications here. And has anybody said anything? Anybody picked the phone and called and said, Mr. and Mrs. Stooks, I'm from so-and-so company. How can we help your family?
No, nobody reached out. Nobody reached out to our attorney. None of that. When the police first got there, and it bothered me, and it is on the police, body cam. The first thing they did was come to me. They came to me, not friendly, really, but it was like they were looking for an arrest, and they saw her face and saw me, so they were coming to me like they were about to arrest me. And I stopped and I said, no, y'all better go look at those tapes. I'm redirecting the cops, Caucasian male cops, to go look at the tapes before they come to me. I said, this woman attacked me. I mean, I'm screaming to the top of my lungs to tell them this woman attacked me. And so that's when they stopped, and then they did the right protocol, because I was standing on 2 feet. Like, no, y'all not about to try to put me in handcuffs, because you're looking at the aftermath of someone that was attacked and had to defend themselves. So that's what they did. And they took our statements, and on the body cam, you can hear the cop telling the other cop and the manager that actually pulled up. The cop said she started it, talking about the one who attacked me. They said, and then the manager said, I figured that. So when you're saying you figured that means that this person has been a problem in this establishment, and y'all did not do anything about it, try to fire her or redirect her.
Okay, so I'm stuck, and I know my time is up, but I'm stuck on a few things. This 2025 travesty.
Mhm.
Yeah.
A woman who's expecting a baby
Mhm.
goes into a place to get something that we all need as gas, and it turns up in loss.
Yeah.
Something I want African American people to hear what I'm saying. We think we've gotten too comfortable because we got money and different things, but that word called racism is so active.
It is.
It's not Uncle Tom anymore. It's Glory behind the counter. It's different people in different ways. You go places they don't want to wait on you. It's so much. That's why we got to go back. You know, here's the thing. You said, Dr. Stooks, about Martin Luther King coming up to Martin Luther King's birthday, and I don't understand. I haven't. I don't know where we are. I'm confused. The president says we're not going to celebrate King's birthday like we did before. We're going to celebrate my birthday.
Hmm.
Who was king to the African American community? So we've let so much stuff. This is another thing about sweeping under the rug. We cannot allow this story of what happened to you two be swept under the rug and just disappear. We got to get the word out there. When you see this interview and see this footage, I want you to call your state senator or call somebody and say, listen, do you know about this? Do you know about this? Because if the main company
Mhm.
that you went into that store and bought gas has not even picked up the phone to say, ma'am, we're sorry of this incident. You lost nobody has said nothing.
No.
No.
So what's going on is, and the why we got to keep this alive is the more it stays in the eye of the public, the more they want to do something. See, what they're doing is they're waiting for it to just die down.
Right.
If it dies down, they ain't got to worry about it. But we got to keep it moving. If you see this on social media, wherever you see this, tag it, share it, and continue it on. I just this, you know, it bothers me,
Right.
not because I know this couple, but because this is a number one thing called mistreatment. You've been
Yeah.
mistreated.
Right.
And listen, this is another thing. This man is a army man. He's from service.
Retired.
If that had been the bishop, I would have gone in the store and there wouldn't be no more store. Because that's my wife.
Right.
That's my pride and joy. And I thank you, man of God, for not doing it. But I know my personality when it comes to certain things. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, certain things, it'll turn. And I thank God for Lady Stooks because y'all don't know that
Right.
she can go there. So both of you stood in the midst of this thing, and you just allowed God to give you peace about it. But we're not gonna let it go down. How can people reach you? How can people contact you if they want to be a blessing to your family financially? If they just want whatever they want to do, they know somebody, we're gonna get the word out. How do they reach you?
Well, they can reach me through email, djpcosmetics@gmail.com. They can also find me on Instagram and Facebook, DJP Cosmetics, Gifted Hands Deria, and on Facebook as Deria Stoops, or it may say Deria Page, Deria Stoops. I don't know, giving out a phone number, is that okay?
No.
Okay.
Okay, we don't
But
get no.
those are ways that they can reach us and contact us.
Okay.
Also, I wanted to state this too, from that traumatic day, my children and myself, and my husband, we are receiving treatment, and we immediately got the treatment because I didn't, like how I started to feel. Like I was sinking in a dark place. And my husband was like, I didn't even want to conversate with him nor be bothered with the children. I didn't want to get up and cook. I didn't want to do anything. I was just like in this sunken dark place because my husband and we have been trying for, a couple of years to conceive. And when it happened, it was like good, like, it's finally here. And, we were excited, about that pregnancy. And not only that, my boys, my 8-year-old especially, like since that traumatic event happened, he jumps up out his sleep, literally,
Sure.
and runs until he find one of us, night terrors, and it was like either 2-3 times out the week and stuff. And I'm like, what, like, so it became overwhelming, and still getting them the proper help that they need, some days are better than most.
Mental health matters.
That's right.
But it's still like, a struggle. And I hate to see myself, my husband, and my children, go through something like this. The way it affected my family is beyond me. It's really beyond me.
Okay, I know. Y'all know I don't, we got to go. I'm over 6 minutes, but I want to say this to you too. You have a responsibility to do what God has told you to do, and this is just a part of it. Don't wear this as a banner of hurt or disappointment, but wear it as a way of keeping a message that we are all equal, and I should be respected no matter where I go. That people don't have any right to do
Absolutely.
that. So I hope you read between the lines what I was saying.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I couldn't say it, we're on TV, so I can't, like, I need to say it, but listen, I got to get out of here. I'm 7 minutes over my time, but I need you to go to our website that's on the bottom of the screen. I need you to put this on your Facebook page, your social media page. Contact this family, be a blessing to this family, and just know that just like it happened to them, it can sure happen to you.
Wow.
So don't never be thinking that it ain't possible. Listen, it's possible. They wasn't expecting it. And the devil's tricky, and they went into a place, and look what happened. So be careful, know your surrounding, watch as well as pray 24/7, because that's what kept them. It was prayer. They covered by prayer. If they hadn't been prayed up, it could have gone another way.
Right.
We thank you. Let's thank God for the Stooks family. I appreciate you both for being here, and we're here for you. And thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you,
sir. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. My pleasure.
This has been a special episode of The Farmer Report. For additional information or inquiries, please contact Darian Francis Stooks at djpcosmeTSCS@gmail.com.